Welcome, everybody, to the show. Happy Friday. Well, if you're listening, it's probably not a Friday. It's a Saturday or Monday, usually, for most of our listeners. But happy podcast number 303. Welcome.
Right.
This is your Positive Gaming and Xbox One community. As always, I'm joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First, it's Mr. McSpicy.
How's it going?
I like your shirt, Mr. McSpicy. You've got multiple compliments on it today.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's very good.
I wore it yesterday, too.
Very nice. Hey, me too.
Hey, all right. Yeah,
I figured I didn't get dirty. I just sat here.
I know.
I
Hey,
just sat here in my own filth.
Yeah,
What do I
I
need
mean-
to change shirts for? Next, it's Jordan the Man.
Hello.
Jordan, how you doing?
Jordan didn't-
now
yeah,
you
Jordan
have
didn't-
not showered.
No,
he
I
didn't clean
showered.
himself.
I just didn't do my hair or anything like that.
Oh, why?
Yeah,
You've just lost.
I
I feel like you've lost a little vest for life. Here. Zest.
a vest.
A vest. You've lost
A
the
vest?
vest of life called Zest. Remember that soap, Zest? Are you Zest?
I'm
fully
sure it's
clean?
still around.
yeah, it probably
sure
is. Probably sold out right
Zestfully
now.
clean.
Yeah, Zest fully clean.
Yeah. I don't think I ever used that soap.
Me either. I'm curious.
Is it good?
I don't know. Last but not least, I'm X1. We are the X1Bros. If you listen really carefully, there is some subliminal messaging in the intro music. So go back, listen to it.
And if you play it backwards,
I will give a $10 Xbox Live gift card
He will if you
to
can.
the person that can tell me
exactly.
what it says exactly. Go back, listen, DM me, and I'm serious. I really will. I have a $10 Xbox Live gift card that I'll give you. We should do that every show.
It's during the music, not during his terrible crisis announcement.
Oh, guys, it's so much fun. This week was a really big week in gaming.
Join the Navy.
But before we get to it, we do have a community play coming up.
Yes,
That's
end of the
next
month.
Saturday, which is the end of the month. March 28th, it's Forza Motorsport. We're doing some Forza Motorsport. So if you're a Forza Motorsport player, come join us. Come race with us.
7.
7. We're doing 7. We are doing Forza Motorsport 7. It's going to be a good time, though. It's grand.
It is next Saturday, the 28th.
Yeah, next Saturday. Our gamer club for the month of March is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. If you haven't jumped in, you still have a chance to get there and get it. Jump in and join us. It's a fun game. It's a platformer. I saw you updating your boss fights in the gamer club Discord there, Jordan. How are your boss fights going? Ritual of the Night, Bloodstained?
Yeah, no, I haven't been updating my boss fights.
Oh, maybe I misread that. Maybe
Yeah.
there's another Jordan the Man.
Maybe.
that I don't know about.
Yeah.
One that actually beats bosses.
Yeah.
One that plays the game.
No, that that game's fun. I don't know if I'm gonna try and finish it in time. It's gonna be tough though because Warzone came out.
Dude, a lot. Warzone, Ori, Doom,
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, which spicy. Before we get into Xbox news, let's talk Nintendo news because why not?
See, that's what I'm saying. Let's just talk
So
stuff.
Stardew Valley, we said like since you like Stardew Valley, you like Animal Crossing, but it's different because it's like more collection. How you like an Animal Crossing so far? Just curious on your opinion.
No, it's great.
It's got tons of character.
I'm still in a forever long tutorial.
Yeah.
You want to know something funny though? So I was going on YouTube. I don't want to. This may open a can of worms, but I don't. Who cares?
okay.
Yeah, whatever. I went onto YouTube to look at gameplay, and I don't watch reviews. I don't ever watch reviews because I don't like them.
Yeah.
Because I think they're stupid nowadays.
Sure,
I really like just watching people play and seeing their reactions, seeing how they have fun. That's why I like streaming services like Twitch and Mixer. Anyways, so I accidentally saw a review by IGN on this game.
Oh yeah.
And it made me laugh because the guy for 5 minutes was like, "Well, it's terrible. They had to do all this wrong. They do this wrong. I'm so bored out of my mind. When you get out of blah, 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 9." I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he criticized the tutorial. Multiple people have criticized the tutorial that it is too long. Because the other Animal Crossing games,
I agree with that,
They're
actually.
like,
I
was
think
no
it's-
tutorial.
There is a lot more in this Animal Crossing game.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm still in the tutorial, right?
Yeah.
It's a little, it's a little slow, but you play that game to have it be slow.
Yeah, no,
Like, this is a game where you relax on the couch,
Yeah, no, it really is.
Earn your bells, pay off your debt.
throw on some 70s smooth jazz music while you hang out and play that game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's how that game is meant to be played. Speaking of news this week, though, and
Yeah.
exciting things that happened, this was a big thing. Basically, it kicked off the start of the next generation, right? We had Xbox Series X specs release news. Xbox basically gave different YouTubers, different influencers, they gave Digital Foundry, they gave all the news sites
Yeah.
access hands-on with the Xbox Series X, and the reviews were ecstatic, which really surprised me. Especially sometimes it seems like some media outlets really look for an excuse to criticize the Xbox, and there was basically none to be had. Everyone was super blown away with the Xbox Series X specs. Then Xbox themselves did release a couple trailers, one showing load times, the difference in load times.
Yeah, on State of Decay.
They used State of Decay 2, and it was under 10 seconds compared to almost a minute, right? Like, that's a big jump, right? And then they also showed the quick resume feature, which was super sweet, where they're jumping. I mean, they're in the middle of a Forza 7 race. They jump over to Ori. They jump over to another game. I think they had 5 games total.
It is really cool.
But
I don't know if I'm really going to use that feature.
I mean, why not?
I mean,
Okay, I think if anybody uses that feature, actually, it would be you because you're always playing multiple games.
No,
No,
'cause
I
I don't-
disagree. Jordan is anal and OCD about shutting his games off.
Yeah.
I've seen it in action
when
many,
you-
many times.
when you turned off the Xbox upstairs, you just
they
turned
like
it-
gave
yeah.
you a heart attack.
I was like, why
Yeah.
did you
Oh
turn
my
off the
bad,
game
Mark.
for?
Was I supposed to? Do you want me to turn off the game first, or is that just a Jordan thing?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan.
Well,
Jordan
it's one of those
always on
things-
any console, on any game,
presses Jules,
when
start,
he's
quit.
done, he shuts it off.
How come? Why?
I don't know. Like, why use unnecessary power when you're not playing the game? You know?
Because we're American. That's how Americans roll.
Like, it's cool, and I'm sure people will use it. But it was kind of funny because it was when they announced it, they're like, and a fan requested feature that you've all been asking about, the game thing. And I don't know, like, have you guys ever been in a chat room where that's been the hot topic of what I want next on my next generation box?
Well, I mean, I think it was a big, like, being able to quick resume more. It's still a cool feature knowing that you can do it
it's
with
cool.
multiple games.
I
and
just-
just jump right back in and play, not load up at all.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
I think this is a byproduct of having a super fast SSD.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that it was requested by the masses.
Yeah, that's
but
why
I
I'm like-
think it's.
It's like one of those things like,
I think it's
Was it?
now a technology available that we have RAM-like speeds on our hard drives, right?
I
So-
think what happened is one of the executives at Xbox really wanted that feature. And they just said, put it in there and just tell them it was a fan requested thing. People like hearing those words, because people like hearing that and fan request. And you're like, oh yeah, we did request this.
I mean, to be fair, it is cool.
No,
No,
it's cool.
it's
You know,
cool.
it's
I
cool.
like it a
And
lot.
it is cool how fast it goes. Another thing to be said: those are all Xbox games.
Yeah.
How will it handle Series X games?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same
Well,
with the load times.
No, it'll be the same. I mean, it's what we're dealing with is the quick access to
Yeah.
memory that is. I mean, and we don't have any moving parts in our SSDs anymore, right? So
Yeah, because it's all
yeah, so it can access
that's
it.
the symbol for electricity.
Yeah,
Or
if Jordan's moving his fingers up and down. That's
the
that's
symbol for moving back and
moving
forth.
electricity is this.
Yeah, moving whatever it is. Is it? Yeah.
No, so I think it's just a byproduct of getting super fast transfer rates from our hard drives, which I get. It's fine. That's great.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah. What was your question?
Well, actually, never mind. I think I answered my own question.
Well, that's
Well,
good.
actually, no. Hold on. I still have
Okay.
the
Oh,
question.
shoot.
No. How long do you think it'll be before a game comes out on the X that doesn't go backward compatible to like the Xbox?
Oh, I
X,
think
you
we've
know what I mean?
got. I think we've got 5 years, 4 years.
Because like let's take a game like The Witcher that you can run on a variety of PCs, but at a certain point, a certain PC just won't run it anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm curious, how long do you think that'll be from the Series X to the Xbox One? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Destiny. When Destiny came out, remember the Vault?
Yeah.
Like you
and
could,
then they just
you could
cut
only
it.
yeah you
to
could
the
only
last-
because it was still an Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
You could not access. They limited the vault
Like where you
spacing
could go. Yeah.
because of because
Was
of
that hardware
limitations.
limitations?
Yes,
For the
that's what they said.
360.
Yeah, for the 360.
And then because people would complain or
But
be
see,
unfair, you know.
I have a feeling that we're not going to see that. Any
Well, and this is much more like a PC. We're moving in.
but
much
that's what
more
I'm saying.
PC
Certain
direction.
PC games can't be played on
hold
older
up,
PCs.
hold up.
You know?
Hear my logic
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
I don't think that's ever going to be the case. I think every system is going to be able to play it. I think they're just going to turn their old hardware into streaming boxes.
Oh,
And they have the
I
cloud
see.
servers.
Yeah, no, yeah, I see. I see what you're
So
saying.
that's why I think when they said that every Xbox game going forward is going to be be able to play on anything. I think it's just they're going to be turning their hardware into streaming.
yeah,
boxes.
because if you take not even talking about the X or the S, the original Xbox, right? That one right there, right? The original one.
yeah, that's the Elite, but
Well,
that's like a
the second
year.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Second
the
one.
second original
That's
one.
the second original one.
Yeah.
The one before the S.
Yeah. So, because at a certain point, like,
I mean, it's just H.264, I think, is what they stream on, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So
That'll
If
just
your-
be
my phone can do that.
yeah. You'll just buy
Well,
the
that's
game
what
through the
they
streaming
do. You
service.
play your cloud on your phone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I think you're going to be able to see that any Xbox as long as it's working.
Yeah, that's
And
a
not-
good. That's a good. I think that's right. I think
Yeah,
that's
because
good
they'll just
analysis.
run a system update and then that's how they'll do it.
Spicy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then they'll just use all the computing power.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
I like
server.
that. I want to get your. What did you think of all of the announcements for the Xbox Series X? I mean, especially like a Digital Foundry did a really deep dive. Anything that really stood out to you in the official specs that we got and stuff like that?
I mean, it's got balls.
It does have balls. 1 second.
Oh, he's getting something. He's printing something out.
Oh yeah, I have it right here.
Well, yeah. I mean, 12 teraflops is no joke. We had. Oh, are these the specs that you printed out right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, the thing that
See, I'll be honest, because we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5. Obviously, we're going to be comparing specs
Yeah.
and everything. Everyone is hammering PlayStation right now. I got to be honest, 10.28 teraflops is no joke either.
yeah, well, and
You know what I
They're
mean?
essentially identical.
They're
you know what I mean?
focused
They're
on their
very-
speed. I
yeah.
think the issue with PlayStation 5. So
They're very similar.
Want to
Let's
start
do this.
talking about that?
Let's do this right now. So Xbox, I think in hindsight, like looking at this past week, now that it's Friday, we have the week behind us. Looking at the two kind of reveals. I mean, PlayStation gave their GDC presentation. That was the Game Developers Conference. That's who that was intended for.
Correct, yes.
But that's not what fans were expecting. And
Correct, yes.
I think they messed up from a messaging standpoint. That was
I
just
agree.
the incorrect presentation to give with the incorrect expectations that were set. And we didn't or PlayStation didn't necessarily set those expectations. But
The world did.
world did, but it's still the wrong, especially the week that Xbox reveals its stuff in the way that they did it. And the way Xbox did it is they released trailers, a couple trailers showing off some features.
Mm-hmm.
They let everybody handle it. Videos were coming out. This is what the box looks like. We got our hands on.
They let them put it together.
Put
like
it
a puzzle.
together. They showed the insides. They let them play it. A couple podcasts. I watched like multiple YouTubers and podcasters who are big PlayStation guys, and they said, "Do you think the PlayStation is going to beat the Xbox in power?" This was before the Thursday event, and they said, "I don't think so." What Xbox has, like, everyone was blown away by Xbox. Looking back, Xbox, that's the correct way to do it. Xbox did it correctly. Let the nerds at Digital Foundry break everything down for you. You don't need to do it yourself because gamers don't care. The vast majority of gamers aren't doing deep dives. The vast majority of gamers are saying, how does this affect my gaming?
Let's see. From a
Digital Foundry does the deep dive, and then everybody that wants to can go see Digital Foundry. Sony did the deep dive, and that's all they did.
I would say that there's a bigger audience that care about the heart, like the sheer
Sure.
power and the specs and everything.
Sure.
Like myself, I eat that stuff up. I
Yeah.
think for the Series X and for the PlayStation 5, I think right now we care about specs. When games come out, we don't, right?
True.
I think right now is the speculation.
Ah.
I did that. Yeah. No, I think now this is what gets us all excited. A lot of us excited, right?
Yeah.
The problem, and you mentioned this, David, is this was meant for developers.
It was meant for GDC.
This
conference.
was
This was their GDC presentation.
If I were to be PlayStation 5, I would have tried to made that known. This is meant for how games are developed. It's going to be a very different than what you're seeing. Enjoy what you see. But this is meant for a different audience. I would have just put that right on the
They
front.
should have said it. They should have had that in big bold words scrolling across the screen.
Due to certain things, this is meant for
Because everybody was hammering.
Yeah, they were
that.
pretty ruthless on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
Which-
be honest with you guys.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, no, like even watching like, there's a couple people that are. It was even. How do I?
He can't even speak.
Well,
The man
he's trying
has
to be
been-
nice.
Has been moved.
Well, like-
We like PlayStation.
No, I do. It's just even like I've seen people who do develop games that watched it and did their reaction videos to it. Like, oh, I'm excited. Let's see what this and that. And even they were kind of like, okay, it's like kind of like, okay.
They spent 45 minutes on hard drive speed. The reason I think this video.
Well, and I felt like, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but they kept repeating themselves. Like, we're gonna talk about this later, and then they like would. It would just they kept.
so-
it was very interesting.
So how I view this is they realized that they knew their specs because of Xboxes. They knew that they were going to be lesser. They knew this. And so I feel as though they were focusing on the stuff that they were fastest at, which is hard drive speed.
And speed. I mean, that's going to be PlayStation's marketing is going to be speed.
Yeah. So they wanted to talk about that. The problem is, if you look at these specs, that's it. Across the board.
And when they
Right?
go, and then they released side by sides everywhere. And this is what, when you have that, you got to throw in and we're working on this exclusive game. Like, you got to throw something in there because
Well,
then
I mean,
when
this
the side by side comes out, you've got now from now until they decide to do a release of just bad press.
Keep in mind that this is for developers, so
Yeah, true.
It shouldn't have. They shouldn't put. We're developing this. They should have shortened this video a little bit.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think they were trying to focus on the things that they were good at, which is what you should do.
Yeah.
The problem is it was just too long, and I mean, honestly, when I was watching this, it looked like an SNL skit with Dana Carvey.
Well, because the people up front, they looked like fake silhouettes.
They were fake silhouettes.
Oh, they
It was
were?
it was fake. It was
No, I
all
thought
green.
They were moving. They were moving.
Yeah, I thought I saw
it
some
was
people-
green screen.
Yeah, it was green screen.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But it totally
funny.
looked like an SNL parody of a keynote address from some tech company. Like that was exactly.
That was funny.
I gotta say, the man who I forgot his name, the one who's giving the presentation.
Cerny.
Yeah, he's the head. I think he's one of the heads over the.
That
hardware.
man is a genius. I thought. I think he, on a tech side of things,
He's responsible for the design of PlayStation 5
I actually
or PlayStation 4.
I enjoyed something. If it was shorter, it would have been a lot better. Keep that in mind. But I enjoyed that he was talking about. We had this challenge and we overpassed it by doing this.
Oh yeah, I love the audio stuff that he was speaking about. It was so
Yeah.
interesting to think about how
50 minutes in when he
bring
finally
audience. Yeah,
started
yeah.
talking
Well,
about
but see,
audio.
and that was the problem. It was good. What they did with their hard drive is really fascinating, and I'm sure we'll get into the specs about it later. But it's just after. I mean, you could have said that in 15, 20 minutes and gotten through everything.
It's
After
true.
about
It was
45
just
minutes
I feel as though they used this video as an announcement video because they were focusing on the speed. So they knew that this was going to be an announcement style video. So they were aware, however, that it was the wrong audience. They knew their audience. They tried to do something. I think they failed in the fact that the audience wasn't who it was supposed to be meant for, but they knew that it was because they focused so much on the stuff that they were good at, right?
Yeah.
But in that regard, they knew that they were streaming to the world.
I know, that's what I'm
just
saying.
That's what.
it was just bad. It's just the incorrect message. It's the incorrect presentation. Microsoft, I think this illustrates, and this is just a precursor. Obviously, we cannot say how this will all shake out. However, I will say if you're a PlayStation fan, there's probably some red flags here. Just because the Xbox, if you remember when Xbox One released, they had a messaging issue, right? And they got hammered for that messaging issue, and it took them getting rid of the person in charge, getting Phil Spencer, and then it took 2 years because you don't just come in and flip on a switch. You've been working on stuff. You've been working on a certain direction, and if that doesn't pan out, it takes time to change that. Hopefully, that's not the case with PlayStation, but regardless, this is an Xbox podcast. Xbox looks like it's crushing it. We should be very excited for this next generation. And this is what has killed me. There's been press release after press release since December, at the Game Awards. Phil Spencer came out because specs were leaked for PlayStation, and everyone, it looks like PlayStation's going to be stronger. I'm like, no, guys, Phil Spencer has said multiple times the Xbox under his watch will never not be the most powerful console on the planet. That is his goal.
Under my watch.
That is his goal. And Phil Spencer has delivered on everything that he said, and it looks to be the case as well. Power is back. We had the Scorpio, most powerful machine, but now we're starting a whole new generation with not just the most powerful machine, but legit next-gen grades.
Yeah. Well, here's what's fascinating. So like Mark said, I do think that guy's a genius, and a lot of what he had to say was super fascinating. Getting through it, right? But my question is so they're both going to be solid-state drives, right? And are they is PlayStation's going to be a type of M2?
No, yes, that's
that's what they're both going to be, right?
It's
so how much
NVMe SSD?
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
So how much? Because they're going for speed, right? How? I mean, I know we have the numbers here, right?
I mean, that's not the S2, but yeah, they're S2.
So
They're
if you-
M2. And they're
yeah.
M2, yeah.
So if you look at the I/O throughput, it gives you the specs. So the storage and the I/O the hard drive and the I/O throughput is kind of where PlayStation is gearing towards, right? In practice with these games, these new games that are coming out, like let's take Cyberpunk that's going to come out.
Okay.
That they've talked about having patches for Series X and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How much faster do you think it will be?
Well, I mean,
Like, will it be-
we could do the math.
Yeah, I mean, because
So
we got
right
the numbers
now-
here: 5 gigs a second, right? And
Right now,
2.4.
yeah, the Series X right now I think runs at 450 megs down and like 300 up, something like that. So, and that's your standard SSD, just
Yeah.
your old school
Yes.
SSD. M.2 drives that I have like in that PC over there run at 2500 megs to 3500 megs, just depending on certain things. That's like the M.2 stuff,
Yep,
right?
yep.
So that's what we're seeing right here on the throughput on the Xbox Series X 2.4 and 4.8. I'm guessing how they did it on PlayStation 5 is they just doubled it.
Yeah.
Like they put 2 instead of 1, right? 2 lanes of traffic.
So it goes twice as fast. Right?
Yeah, correct. So your question was then how much faster?
Well,
so if you do that number, so it's 0.4 versus 2.4. That's the number.
So it's going to half it, right?
So it's-
essentially,
it-
right?
Well,
No, it'll more than that.
it's like
Yeah.
four times.
Four
Like,
times.
let's just do it an easy 500. Let's say 2500 is the speed, and right now we're getting 500. So it's five times as fast, right? Is that the math? 5 times.
So, but here's the thing: it's not
Yeah.
just load. It's not just the reason Sony focused on this is because it's not just load times, right?
Well, yeah,
Like,
it's how
it's
the
going to be
game
how,
interacts.
how
right?
developers decide to use that speed to load game.
Well, he was talking
to load
about
information into the game,
Yeah,
right? And that's where they feel PlayStation feels that they have that advantage, whereas Xbox went raw power, right? Like Xbox is using the raw power. However, at some point, Xbox could just use that technology too. I don't know. I'm confused at how it will work. Overall, I don't think it's a good look for PlayStation.
Well-
That's the only thing that they have better. Everything else
well, and
is
so
weaker.
right now, what that is that's loading assets, right?
Yeah.
Then you have double that for compressed assets. A lot of games come out with uncompressed audio, stuff like that. Like
Battlefield or something
Battlefield
like
likes to do uncompressed audio. Actually, a lot of games like to do uncompressed audio now. But assets, I mean, you're going to get to a point of diminishing returns. There's a point where you can load everything, if that makes any. This is
Yeah.
fast. We're not used to these speeds. That's why things right now, the games are going to be loading so fast. Once you get used to that, they're going to be throwing on more things. But we're to a point in speeds where it's basically caught up. It's caught up. Speeds are now can handle a lot more data transfer, a lot more assets being pulled through. Right. So what I'm trying to say is 2.4 versus 5.5. That's their speeds. But at this point, I don't think that matters as much.
Yeah.
Because right now we're used to assets taking up so much space and being transferred at certain speeds.
yeah.
I think later on when we get used to it, maybe that bottleneck's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking a lot of data to be pulled through that.
So he talked about where I thought it was fascinating is he talked about rendering. Like take game A for example, your character's looking at wall 1 and as he turns to wall 2 it renders instantaneously, right?
Correct, yeah.
To help with load, so the whole thing's not, you know what I mean? To help with load on the console cuz technically the whole game isn't loaded all at once, right?
Yeah.
That's the theory. So but that's the thing, with these speeds though, can't Microsoft also implement, I mean obviously it's not as fast, but it's still faster than what we're
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Can't they
But
still
see,
implement that same technology?
Look at those numbers. I think they just doubled the pipeline. That's how they
Yeah.
got that I/O throughput that fast.
Yeah.
They just did 2 of them with their own lanes of traffic.
It is really going to be interesting doing side by side comparisons to games like newer games that come out on these consoles like Cyberpunk and stuff like this because I would like to see not just your loading screen difference but
Yeah.
the in-game difference of how
Well,
things render and stuff like that,
What's
right?
super exciting is we're getting all this horsepower, and at the same time, we have new technology that's optimizing the horsepower for the developers without them even optimizing, like ray tracing, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is pure optimization on the hardware level of lighting, right?
Yep.
So you're getting those on top of this sheer horsepower. A lot of the developers are going to be new. And this has happened with every generation, right?
Yeah,
you get
new
a new
tech,
box,
right.
you get a new console, you get new tech, and then they figure it out for the next couple of years. I think this is one of the biggest jumps in technology with hardware optimization that we've ever had, and I think in the next couple of years you're going to see games that just blow your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, not
super.
only that, but they're applying all of this. This power is going to also apply to the entire backwards compatibility library. So
Yeah.
all of your games you're currently playing, they use the example Digital Foundry of Fusion Frenzy, and that Fusion Frenzy, they loaded up backwards compatible game from the original Xbox. Now it's in 100% real HDR, and it says just that alone, Digital Foundry was saying just that alone made the game completely completely different. So we're going to get a new experience for all of our games. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's the hardware optimization. And remember, Xbox, when they did their
The Scorpio chip. is what you're talking
when
about,
they did that, they built the hardware around the software, and it made it way more optimized than we've ever seen before in a console, and in actually, I would say go as far as saying a lot of PC development, because the software usually software is created for the hardware. But it was backwards. They created the hardware for the software, and it made it. They did things that you've never seen before, right? We're probably going to get that with the Series X. I assume we are. That all this hardware and this raw power that we're seeing is being built around the software. That's my guess, since they did it the last box. So you have these numbers like 12.16 teraflops. That's raw power, but you're going to get software on top of that where that specific architecture was built for, which I think you're going to see the optimization where we've never seen before in anything, right? That is sheer power, and I don't know. I'm just really excited what I'm trying to get at, because they're reverse engineering everything, and they learned how to do that with the Xbox Series, or not Series X, but the Xbox Scorpio.
Yep.
And I think those numbers mean more on the Xbox than the PlayStation, if that makes sense, since they reverse engineer things as well. I mean, we're seeing just sheer power right now, but I think on top of that, you're going to get the optimization that you've never seen in any gaming system ever. That's my thoughts. So
Yeah, they got their custom CPU chip that everybody is raving about. AMD came out and basically promoted the crap out of it. Said this is technology changing. This is every. I mean,
Well, because they
this
probably did the same thing they did with the Scorpio chip, right? Where they went in at like a microscopic level and
that's what I was
basically,
saying.
and
It's
like you
reverse
said,
engineering,
and just like went through. But hey, the interesting question is, what do you guys think? Because they're both. I mean, the biggest difference. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the Xbox does have a little bit more power, but they're similar in their stats, right? I mean, it's not the Xbox isn't like crazy overpowered over the PlayStation 5, right?
I mean, that's like a 20% increase.
pretty
Well,
substantial.
okay,
That's
all
a
right.
20. I mean, if we're looking just at the teraflops, 10.28 versus
12.2 is
12.16.
20%.
You know what's
yeah.
weird to me
It's
too?
20%
That
increase.
number right
Yeah,
there
no, I
on
guess
the
you're right.
PlayStation. This one's an odd number to me. 825 gigabyte SSD. That's a very weird specific number.
Yeah, PlayStation, their architecture, and I could be
compared to the 1 terabyte SSD.
I could be wrong, but their architecture uses data in a very specific way where you lose a little bit of data, and maybe it is a 1 terabyte, but they're including the operating system
On there,
on
yeah.
top of that. I mean, just how the marketing side of things. Everybody knows when you get a terabyte hard drive, you're not
getting like
actually getting a
900.
terabyte,
Yeah.
right? I think that a little bit of that is involved with that number. I think it's still technically considered a 1 terabyte hard drive. But
Interesting. NK Will has an interesting point in chat. He says, I thought SSD had a limited life on its writes. I wonder if there will
does.
be a hardware life shortening because of this.
Well, I mean, it's a balance, right? You have no moving parts, and that helps, but you have limited writes, which doesn't help. But like your standard SATA drive kind of, your old school one with spinning discs, that had moving parts. That didn't help, but you didn't have limited. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. It's a back and forth thing. It depends on what you're doing that makes the limited life of the hard drive happen. Like video editing does certain things. It depends on how many writes whatever software you're using determines the life a lot more than others. So with gaming, I don't know. I don't know how that works. With other computers, I could tell you that if you use that software on that PC, you're going to be hitting that specific SSD hard drive harder than you would if you were just using spinnable drives. Like I have on my video editing PC that I use for work, I have both. I have spinning drives, and I have SSDs, and I have M.2 drives. which are
Yeah.
SSDs too, right? I use them for different things because of that reason. And you can go into your operating system settings and change certain things to make that last longer. So getting to the bottom line of the limited rights, I can guarantee you these developers or these hardware developers, PlayStation and Xbox, Microsoft, they have that in mind, and they're going to be optimizing how the read writes take place. And I think that it's not going to be as bad as you think, if that makes sense.
It won't break after like 3 weeks of gaming, right?
It's going to be the architecture of this is going to be made in a way with that in mind. The old like Windows 7 and earlier, they read and write a certain way on Windows that SSDs came later that it didn't like, and that's why you were seeing some life dependencies on some of the hard drives. Operating systems now are going to be like going forward. Operating systems have SSDs in mind when they are going to be writing it, so it's gonna fix some things.
If you guys want to look at any of this, if you haven't seen it yet, I would just head over to YouTube and look up Digital Foundry. They've got great analysis on it.
Yeah, they're
You can
really
go
good.
read their article. To finish up this discussion just on the Xbox Series X, at this point, I do think Microsoft is winning the PR battle, which is foreign. I feel weird saying that. I'm like a naked.
We're not
boy.
used to that.
I'm like a naked boy in the middle of the street.
I know.
Like, what is happening here?
We're not
Where
u-
are my clothes?
I'm not used to PlayStation getting hammered the way that they did.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I woke up an hour later after that. I did. I woke up a full hour after I watched that conference going,
What
wow.
happened?
Wow,
Yeah, Xbox, they did a really good job. They've been methodical. I think them getting their asses handed to them this generation.
They've been there.
They learned a lot. And now I've seen a lot of people say, well, now they've got to have exclusives. What do you think they've been doing? Like what? They bought
many studios have they
16
bought? Yeah.
Studios. Like what? That's
16
exactly,
studios. They're gonna
exactly
get 'em.
for that. I mean, they've learned a lot from it. So it's really interesting. I want to finish with this. This is from Digital Foundry, just to kind of sum up how well the Xbox Series X did this week, right? This is what they said. They said the Series X processor, they first said, this is our first mic drop moment when we were looking at this. It was like, whoa, mic drop, walk away, Xbox, amazing. They said the Series X processor is actually capable of running 4 Xbox One S game sessions simultaneously on the
What?
same chip, and contains a new internal video encoder that is 6 times as fast as the more latent external encoder used on current xCloud servers.
Well, there you go. There's your
So
reverse
why
engineering.
that blows my mind.
On the same chip, and that's what they were saying. This custom chip is technology changing. It's not a marketing point. It really is.
Why that blows my mind. If anybody's ever used an emulator in their lives, right? Like an old NES emulator, SNES emulator, and Nintendo 64 ever. If you've ever done that in your life, you have to go through certain generations of processors to even get near the processing power to emulate like backwards compatibility or games that you're playing, right? The fact that the last generation you're able to play you're basically emulating 4 games at once. That hasn't happened before.
Yeah, listen. So the exact same Series X processor, so the processor that's going to be in the Series X, the exact same Series X processor is used in the Project Scarlet cloud servers that'll replace the Xbox One S based xCloud models currently being used. And that's why they said this brings us to our first mic drop moment, and I'll read it one more time. The Series, because of that, they're using this processor. The Series X processor is actually capable of running 4 Xbox One S game sessions simultaneously on the same chip, and contains a new internal video encoder that is 6 times as fast as the encoder used
nuts.
on the current xCloud servers.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah, like I said,
It's like commercial grade
Several-
stuff that we're getting.
when you would go several generations down and try to emulate, you would always have frame drops, crashing, all that stuff. The fact that it's just a generation later.
Yeah, isn't that
And
crazy?
you knew 4?
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy.
and that's why AMD is pushing it, and everybody
They're
was
excited.
just super impressed. I'm telling you guys, I was watching everyone's reaction, and people who would never give Microsoft the time of day were blown away by this thing. So well done, Phil Spencer. Well done, the Microsoft team, everybody over there. I'm very excited. This is a good time to be on Xbox. It's a good time to be a gamer, and it's very exciting. The next generation, it's coming.
yeah, that's
And they're bringing back memory cards.
Oh, that's right, because you're gonna have
Basically.
to use the.
Yeah.
Well,
They're hard
I
drives,
think,
but they're
yeah. Speaking of
Yeah.
that, so it's a memory chip that they put in the back to make an extra terabyte
for
of-
your external stuff.
But only, but
Yeah.
you can still use your hard drive. And actually, Microsoft's marketing on this has been smart. How they have been tweeting out about it. Bring over your entire library on your hard drive, plug and play, and you can instantly play your games. It's if you want to utilize the new technology.
Yeah, you have to
You
have
gotta
that.
have that.
No, I know, and I think that you're gonna get devices where you can add on to that. I don't think 1 terabyte
No,
is
that's
gonna.
not gonna be the
it's,
limit. Yeah,
yeah, the
That's the
limit.
starting
You're gonna get
Yeah,
more
that's
than
the
that.
starting point.
Because I'm telling you, I got a 10 terabyte on my Xbox.
Well,
It's
but the
changed my
thing is,
life.
and they showed how you use it. You can take your 8 terabyte, and the way that their read-write speed works, you can transfer it over, and it's like immediately be able to play your game. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So it's
You're still
kind of
limited
neat.
to the read speed of the
Of
hard
the
drive
old
you're
one,
pulling
yeah.
it from.
That's why they have their special ones that you can buy.
So you have to do that.
which
and then-
everybody has been saying are your new memory
You can
cards.
still use current external drives. Yes, that's they made sure to make that a thing. Yep, you absolutely can. Anyways, that's the Xbox Series X. I would say it's 1 point for Xbox right now. We'll see how it goes in the ever ongoing console wars.
Yeah, and like I said, that was for the PlayStation was for the GDC announcement. It was for developers. I'm actually really excited because PlayStation's going to have to step up and show us
Let's see some hype.
exclusive stuff
Let's
because
see
that's where
some hype,
PlayStation has
yeah.
always had strength is in
Yeah.
exclusive games. I mean, Xbox has too, but I would say PlayStation had a head start or something more with popular exclusive games. I
Yeah.
feel like
Well,
single player adventure,
serious games.
single
yeah.
player serious games. They shone pretty bright right there, right?
Yeah.
So
Do you guys think the price points will be the same?
Yep.
I actually think, and that's that. The price point is going to make or break PlayStation. If you can get if you can get 12.16 teraflops for the exact same price as 10,
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Like-
hey, we're the same price and we got more power.
and
You know,
if think of this, if Microsoft bundles like Ultimate for a year with that or something, or just does something like
Game
that,
Pass,
Yeah,
yeah.
Game Pass.
oh man,
The value. And here's the thing, because someone asked.
why?
There was
Why would you
discussion.
go any?
there was-
Why?
and I
there
think
was a-
they're willing to lose money.
Well, yeah,
on it,
there was.
you know?
That's actually the
Like,
question. The
Because
discussion.
they have the subscription service.
The
Yeah.
discussion on Discord was: will Xbox be willing to lose money on their hardware this generation? And I think absolutely they're willing, because their game plan is subscription service. That's
Yeah.
the future. They want you in the ecosystem. They want you on their subscription. They want you addicted to that.
They've been planning this for a long time. E3 last year, we got on that service for $1.
Yeah.
They've been they
3
gave
years
us
out.
first taste is free, and now we're getting our drugs. You know that's
Yeah. So I do not think there will be a difference in price.
yeah. I think they're going to.
Do you
be
think
the same price.
Microsoft will just match whatever PlayStation does? Yeah.
Yep. I think so. I think what they're showing is they're
Where do
being
you think?
super
Do
aggressive.
you think PlayStation's going to try and beat them? They'd have to, right? I mean, they
Well,
don't
that's
have
good
to,
for us.
right?
Let's do it.
yeah.
Let's let that price war
They just
begin.
like keep coming down. Then you get
We're
into
just
the
going to be like a tennis match, watching that way.
then
watching
Nintendo's
that
going to
way.
start dropping their prices.
No, they've never done that.
well, they're already like what
they have
$200.
they have IPs where they're never going to do that.
Before we
That's
get
power.
before we get into
You're
the
not even talking
news,
power, Nintendo power.
one of the most anticipated games for each of us this year, Doom.
Doom.
It has arrived. It dropped actually early yesterday. Dropped because of everything that's been going on. But we've all had a chance to jump in and play. We've all had a chance to play Doom. I'll start. I've probably played the least, but initial first impressions on Doom, it's Doom. It's smooth.
And that's good.
Yeah,
Wow.
It is smooth. It is fast. It's like butter. I said this before the show. It's like Mortal Kombat for first-person shooters. Like they just have stepped it up to the next level. Everything that you do just flows so nicely between your weapon mods, your kills. I love the verticality in the Doom levels and the jumping, kind of like the inherent jumping puzzles that they put in there, and how you have to balance your health with your ammo all the time. Is this constant balance. And I could never play on the super hardcore mode. Those guys are insane. I don't know how they do that. But first impressions. Practice.
Yeah,
very,
practice.
very initial first impressions on Doom. Blown away.
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good game.
Yeah.
Want me to talk
Spicy,
about it?
go ahead. Yeah, give it to me,
I
baby.
like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think. Before the show, I even pulled up the song. I'll play it in the background while I'm talking.
Oh yeah, listen to this.
But
Just pumps
this is
you
like the intro when you're,
Nearly 60% of our planet has
and that bass kicks in,
invaders.
And
and then Bethesda comes in. Bethesda.
think of like
Us.
while this is happening,
We have the Hell Priest signal.
Yeah,
just awesomeness.
it's so you feel so badass. This game,
cool.
if you want to feel like a badass,
It's cool.
you get this game because you get pumped. The initial part is oh my gosh,
There
it's
it is.
so cool. You feel like a badass. I'm gonna slowly fade that away, but so you start that's how the game starts, is that music. You go through this thing, which by the way, me and Jordan were talking about this.
Oh, it's hilarious.
We're gonna be talking about the first 5 minutes of the game. Less than that, the first minute
Tutorial.
of the game.
You're not
Yeah.
Tutorial. We're in like a floating palace.
Well, yeah, so they called it the Fortress of Doom when they advertised it. And are we okay to talk about the first remake game, Doom 2015?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
anyway,
can talk about
at the end of Doom, you beat the big brain.
Yeah,
Let's still give a spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Spoiler. We're gonna talk about the
Okay.
first Doom,
Yeah.
which I think we're just saying you beat the game.
Yeah, you beat the game. Yeah, it's a big brain. It's actually hilarious. But anyway, and then it's just a bunch of cool looking credits of him killing stuff, right? So I don't know how he got the floating castle of Anarath out there, but that's what he has.
Maybe
like,
we learn.
Like
Maybe
it's
we
like,
learn.
oh, wow. And what's cool is he's just like looking down at
He's
Earth.
looking down at Earth, and they're like, "Does he hear us?"
Yeah, and he's just like,
It's
picks
like,
up
okay.
his shotgun
I know he
shells.
like comes out of the shower. He's like, oh, I guess I'm going back to work. It's like Magneto's palace in the sky.
It's hilarious, but it's super smooth. It's super fun. The only thing I hope they do, because my only criticism of the first game is I felt like the first game's boss fights, the tempo and boss fight design I felt like it was off a little bit. Like the best boss fight in the game was the middle boss, right?
Oh,
it had like 3 or 4 mechanics that you had to get. It was really fun, and then Big Brain at the end was just a sponge. Really,
Yeah,
you know what I
the
mean?
end-
Like it's just
the end
the boss tempos
was-
felt off.
I don't
You
think
know
I
what mean?
died at the end boss, but I died previous multiple times.
Because
bosses. The end
you'd
boss
go
was
like,
easy.
okay, like this boss is good, and then they get better and better,
Yeah.
and then they kind of go
And you're
down
like,
again.
"Oh no, here comes the end
Yeah,
boss!"
and then they get better, and then they go down
And
to
then
the
you're
end,
like,
and
okay.
you're like, oh, that's they're just the tempo of the bosses was
Okay.
kind of off,
Yeah, you're
right?
getting
So I hope
pumped up.
they,
You're getting pumped up. You go in, and then you beat him. You're like, oh.
and I
that was
mean,
it.
that is hard to do. I mean, boss fights are really hard to make, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was very noticeable in Doom.
So you're saying you're in this one, Doom Eternal. You
Yeah,
hope
I'm
that-
hoping in Doom Eternal, like the boss fights, they get, because I would look forward to the next boss
Yeah,
fight. It's
oh,
like, well,
yeah.
this one was good. What's the next? And then you're not at the next one, and then the ending I would say was the most disappointing because you're just kind of like,
dude. It's
Okay.
so spicy. Beyond that, any other thoughts?
The game plays so smooth.
Gunplay.
smooth.
Gunplay, yeah, I like the mods on the guns that I've gotten so far. I feel as though I'm still kind of in the tutorial. So the game starts hard with that song, and then it's trying to teach you, it's trying to basically teach you the flow of the game. This
Yeah.
game is not your normal
No.
shooter. You have to do what's called loops, where you just try to stay alive,
Yeah.
and you just go around, and it's just onslaught of enemies, and you just have to keep killing them. As you kill them, you get health, so it actually forces you to be really aggressive, which is what the name of the game is, right? But the thing that stands out in this, and it reminds me of like the traditional Doom, is just the smoothness, how you float across the screen.
Oh yeah.
60 frames,
Yeah,
solid.
You're dang rat. You're dang rat.
Uh,
No, the game's fantastic. I'm excited to get into this game even further. This game is going to be competing with Animal Crossing.
and what's great is they're totally they're
You've
they're
got
really different. Yeah,
fighting the dominions of hell. Literally, hell has opened up, and
animals.
animals in an island paradise.
But you need both. You need to. I mean, it's your salts and sugars, right? You need to have a certain amount of Pringles and a certain amount of Skittles to
that's
stay
funny.
functional.
No, I think this is.
I will say one thing that I think didn't get a lot of talk in the first one. Doom multiplayer is actually really solid. I'm gonna be curious.
They did the multiplayer different this time, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very curious how it works this time.
I'll have to
In
jump
the
in.
first one, I mean, that's not why you buy Doom. You buy Doom for the campaign, but the multiplayer was really solid, like really solid multiplayer. So,
good.
Jordan, how about yourself? Your Doom.
I
first
really like the
impressions.
game. Mark talked about the loop. I think, and they did this in the first game as well, or the first remake, right? but the loop is fantastic because what they do is you have to use a certain melee ability to get ammo, and then you have to use a different melee ability to get health, right? So you have to the loop and balance between getting health, ammo, while dodging your enemy players via the double jump and all that, and plus you're gonna get more as you progress through the game, right? But the loop that you were talking about, they do it perfect.
It's awesome.
They do it the best, and they did it in the first game too. And I think it's even more refined in this
you
one.
talk about smoothness. It adds to the smoothness of the game because you're not like, I've got to sit back and wait for my shields to restore. No, you've got to go kill. It's all this one fluid action.
You're the
doing
Doomslayer.
consistently. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Anyways, first impressions. We'll have more for you next week. But first initial impressions. This game just launched yesterday. Are very positive. Very positive. So there you go.
Was it yesterday or was it technically today?
It was
just
supposed to be
last night?
today, but a lot of got released early.
I think like
because
hard copies got released yesterday because of everything that's going on.
Digital was,
Digitally,
like,
we got
later
it
in the
at
evening.
10 o'clock
Yeah.
because that's when we usually get it because they
Oh,
go
yeah,
off at
yeah,
Eastern
okay.
time, right? So there's, I think nowadays people are just kind of like, close enough. And they just, here's the game.
Well, I think that's actually a good strategy with the amount of people that game now.
Yeah.
To have
Yeah.
everything hit your servers at one time, it's a natural DDoS.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just spread spread it out.
That is actually one of the main purposes when games do. A lot of people think it's for money grabs, which it is, but a lot of people think like with Bless early access, like the reason you do that is so you have the first, couple
Wave.
thousand people come in. You're like, okay, we got that settled. Then you stagger it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Servers have feelings too.
And that brings us to the next segment of our show. This is the news segment. We kind of covered.
Sorry,
Here's the news segment. We
Yeah.
kind of covered the biggest news stories of the day. in our
that's not
opening
true.
segment. But there's some other news stories here that we have. So Jordan, tell us what is happening in the world that is Xbox One.
The biggest news of this week, David, and I don't even think you've even read this one yet.
Hunt?
No, the fact that it's your birthday.
Oh,
Well, almost. We were actually
my birthday's on Tuesday.
Your birthday's on Tuesday.
We thought
but
we'd do it to-
we thought
now
we'd do
to
it now
surprise you.
to
Okay.
surprise
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So
All
we
right.
got you something, and we think it's really cool.
Okay.
Should we have him close his eyes or something? Do
you want me to close my eyes?
Yes, close your eyes.
yeah, close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Stupid.
Yes. Yeah. Hurry.
They've got me an insult.
Are they closed here? I'll set it over here. Hold on, yeah.
Hold on, let's show Chap first. Let's
Yeah,
show
show
Chap
Chap.
first. I'm gonna show Chap.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, is this gonna be like a joke?
Okay, hold your hand out.
Am I gonna get slapped in the face?
Yeah, ready? Open your mouth.
No, no, here. I'll put it right here.
It's on your laptop.
Oh, it's on my
Okay,
laptop.
and whenever you're ready.
Okay, opening my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Animal Crossing. We got
Animal
Animal
Crossing.
Crossing.
The last Animal Crossing I played was the
GameCube,
GameCube.
right? Yeah.
And my best friend Chris Ferguson and I would swap memory
Yeah.
cards so
that's
that we
how
could
you
visit
could-
each other's worlds. That's how we would do it, man. That's how we would do it. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I
That's
was
so cool.
telling your wife about it, and she said it's good because I told her, she said something about you babysitting tomorrow, and I said, hey, this game is actually perfect to play with the family.
Yeah, I'm babysitting tomorrow. You thought Doom was fighting the minions of hell.
Babysit.
Oh man, just wait. Although I have been informed,
You
that
could
if
probably play Doom in front of the kids.
I have been informed.
the Mortal Kombat of
I've been
first-person
informed that
shooters.
I can't call it babysitting if it's my own kids.
Yeah. At that point, it is just Doom.
It is, yes, it is.
No, but now we can all visit each other's towns.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
cool, man. This is cool.
Put that up, put that up on the screen,
Dude,
and your
my
kids will
want
love
to
it.
hear a fun story. Thank you guys. This
Yeah.
is like one of the best birthday gifts ever.
Thank you.
Very excited. I wasn't gonna get it actually. I was like, I got too many games.
Well, the
I'll just-
reason we got it
Right,
is
and I was
because we
like,
were afraid
yes.
if we wait till next Friday, you would have bought it.
Yeah, we were
right?
afraid
So
that you were
we're
gonna
like,
join it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why Jordan. Remember Jordan? Like
That's how we gave him Tarkov.
Remember, he's like online, like, what are you doing? Take his laptop from him.
Yes. What are you doing? Okay, fine. We got you the Edge of Darkness edition. Stupid.
So fun fact, I had this really weird moment because my wife, like, all of a sudden today we're like eating dinner, and she brings up a couple of gaming YouTubers that I follow and some streamers and stuff. And she's like, "Do you know such and such and such and such and such and such and such?" And I'm like, "Yes. Why?"
I know, it's always that weird.
Yeah, like why? And
Yeah.
my wife is a mental health counselor, so I'm thinking, and I know that some of these people are in Utah, so I'm thinking, do they go see her? Like,
You're like,
What is
Well,
going
give me
on?
some of the-
Like, how does she know? Like, she knows their names and their channels and the whole shot. Anyways, no, she was just looking. She was watching different channels to get ideas for like birthday gifts for me. So I was like, oh,
okay.
well, hey, that's cool. That means
Yeah.
I'm probably getting something technologically
Advanced
here. Yeah, if she's the names she gave me were like,
I know what she got you.
oh, do you? The names she gave me were like legit gamer equipment.
It's gonna be like this Chinese ripoff.
No, we were all discussing birthday gifts for you a little while ago.
Oh, really?
Just so you know,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So
I'm not a big birthday guy. You want to know what I wanted
that's
for my
why we
birthday?
were all discussing birthday gifts. For you.
I
a while
wanted
ago.
to just go to the movies and have popcorn.
Yeah, that kind of got screwed over.
Yeah, that didn't happen as of like 2 days ago. I can't do that anymore.
There's a certain thing to blame for that.
So there goes that. However, remember I talked about Onward, guys. I just want to say this. I saw Onward. I think I mentioned. Did I mention this last week's podcast?
Yeah, I was gonna go.
Oh no, because I saw it last week. Onward. No, that was 2 weeks ago. Best Disney movie that I have seen in years.
No.
It is so good. Spicy. You will love it. It's very
All right.
Dungeons and Dragons. Imagine if Disney and Pixar decided to do a movie for kids about Dungeons and Dragons.
It's what Frozen should have been.
It's what Frozen should have been. This was so. I was blown away. Ready for this? Because of everything that happened with that released 2 weeks ago, it's on Disney Plus as of today.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
That's good because I was really upset because remember I was talking to you.
Yeah.
I was gonna go see it.
Yeah. It's on Disney Plus.
That
so
is
just,
wonderful.
Just take a invite Spicy over and have a.
You know, we should,
have
yeah.
an Onward Bro
Yeah,
night.
Onward,
I'll
yeah.
stay 6 feet away from you.
Yeah,
Dude.
I have a big enough couch
Guys,
for that.
it's really good.
You know, I'm excited for that.
I really, really enjoyed it, and I didn't think I would. I went in like, oh, this is gonna be okay, and I was like, well,
Are you sure it's out today or is it out April 3rd?
It's out April 3rd. Perhaps it's out April 3rd. Then it's out April 3rd.
You've hurt me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm no longer going to his house.
Sorry. Well, it's still cool. In April. Yeah,
yeah.
it is April. Still.
Yeah, that is
still
pretty cool.
Maybe it was today that I saw the news drop. Okay, back to news. Hey, thank you very much, guys, though.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm excited to see your island. I will have districts, and
We
it's
can
gonna
visit
be
each
great.
other's islands.
Huh?
and-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna build my
We'll
island.
go to Mark's island, and it'll be like perfectly symmetrical.
Everything
laid
would be
out.
perfect.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll come to mine, and it'll be like just wild. Man
Actually,
time.
it's all right.
And we'll go to Jordan's, and it will be riots.
No, there will be
Animal-
maybe
there's
in
gonna be a
animal
riot
maybe in
district.
the lower districts there will be. No, actually, because you said that, I just have one question.
Yeah.
What island did you choose? Because I was curious. Like, well, Mark is very symmetric. I mean, I've seen
You
your
know
sprinkle.
exactly which island I chose. It's the second one. It's the top
The second
right
one, yeah, the one that's
well, the one that's symmetrical.
yeah. The one that I was like, oh.
I was like, which is the easiest one to build my island?
I have to maximize
Because they put
space.
they put a river through all of them, so you're like, okay,
But you
how do I
can
want to do
change.
this?
You can like change. This
Oh, yeah,
is
you
the
can
first
change
Animal Crossing
everything,
where
yeah.
you can change the terrain, so that's cool.
yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway.
moving on.
Hunt Showdown.
Oh, don't shut down.
Yeah,
No,
so
no.
I got a new patch on the consoles, which is great. So this patch, basically, it's I guess you can call it a quality of life patch, a big quality of life.
like
It
those quality of life
improves latency to the game. So from your input latency, right?
Yeah.
So from your, when you do a command to what you see on screen, it improves that vastly from what I hear. I haven't played it since this patch, but I'm excited to jump back in and play it because they say improving that alone, like what they've improved with that, has increased the quality of the game by a lot. Like it feels good.
You and
you
a
know?
lot of people have told me that.
And Hunt's already
I
a fun
would
game.
Love Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, Hunt's already a fun game.
Compared to Vigor, which one do you prefer?
They're kind of.
Are they related?
Well, yes, yeah,
Sort of,
yeah.
but sort of. You know,
I don't know. It just
I would
depends.
say
They're
the loot you
different.
lose. The loot you lose is your people, right?
Yeah, the loot you lose is your people, right?
In Hunt,
In Hunt, yeah.
because your people are what you choose like NPCs to come in with you.
Well, you choose a character,
And
right?
you level up the character, and it's permadeath.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And when that character dies, you lose everything that was
And
on
it's
him
PVE
perks.
and PvP.
Yes, correct. Whereas, like
Vigor.
Vigor's just PvP, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have similar aspects. They are different, right? I mean,
This it looks
most
beautiful.
most
It's a pretty game.
yeah, most blatantly, one's first person, one's third person, right? But no, the new patch anyway. No, it's hard to choose which one. I like them both.
So it's been optimized, basically.
Yeah, it's been optimized pretty much.
That's good.
They've addressed a number of issues, including input lag, performance stability,
Okay.
all the good stuff. Vigor also came out with a news patch or a new patch.
Another quality of life
Yeah.
patch. They've improved shooting.
Yeah, I was. I
Which-
don't know if you guys were watching the stream, but I was dominating. I think there was a couple times where we talked about how I was better than you because of the amount of kills I was getting per round.
Oh. Yeah,
Per-
but, no. But what's your loot value, my friend? We'll be able to tell because we'll be able to compare it now.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
leaderboards.
I'm gonna be honest with
They added stats
Every-
last patch, and now they have leaderboards.
The one round I think I got like 3 kills, almost 4 kills, right? And I got a little greedy, and I got killed in the gas because I stayed too long.
that's right. I watched that
you're
one.
right,
I
yeah,
watched
that
that
one. No, I feel like I don't know if it's the patch or if it's
No, the shooting. They've improved shooting.
no, it does feel better. Like I feel like I'm doing much better because it feels.
Yeah, you Spicy you should try
It
it out, 'cause
feels-
you can,
it feels a lot
like
better.
where I point my joystick is where the gun goes now.
Without a delay.
I didn't really.
I
notice
did-
the
yeah,
delay
I did.
anyways,
It's hard
but,
for me to-
Well, that's good. I mean, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, but
Moving
no.
forward, not back.
But no,
right?
really good stuff. It feels a lot better that way. One of the things that I have been talking about
That's the worst jump in the game. By the way.
that
Is that what you just watched? Yeah.
that I've really been waiting for is leaderboards. Leaderboards for statistics now are here, which is super cool. But no more trading. No, it's impossible. They said to trade now, so you can't.
Yeah.
So one thing that
So
would happen.
duos, it fixed duos.
One thing that would happen constantly is I kill a guy and he kills me. Like I would say, if I stream this game for 4 hours, I would say I would get that would happen to me at least 5 times in that span. That is way too much to be happening in a game. They've fixed that, so that's no longer happening. They also fixed the view over right shoulder was always superior because of the way the person stands. Left shoulder was really hard.
So
Fixed
for all
it.
you
Now-
lefties out there,
now both are
Welcome.
equal. And just a lot of little quality of life stuff like that. It's very exciting. The game, incremental improvements, they've done a good job with this game. And it's fun.
yep. Did they add a little trophy man when you get the airdrop? I noticed a golden trophy man next to my leaderboards.
Oh, yeah, your whole... no.
Has he always been there?
He's always been there,
okay.
yeah.
He's kind of a cool little guy.
Yeah, and
though.
they moved the wood cutting to
to the side of the
yeah.
house. Yeah. So.
They
But
added
no.
a new map as well. So it's...
And I like the way they did the whole map system now. Much
the map
better.
system is improved. So they added battery, which was really the only map that everybody was playing because of how the loot works. And now it's battery with snow. And how it looks like it's going to work in the future is you can only pick that map if you want to pick a specific map, which is the new map, or you have to pick quick play, and quick play then randomizes the maps.
And that's a good way to do it because I don't think it splits your community as much. Take a game like PUBG that has multiple maps.
Yeah.
Well, I think PUBG kind of does the same thing too. They put you in a pool, right?
Yeah.
But I think having the newest map available, because everybody's going to want to jump in on that because it's the newest map, and then having the rest just on a playlist, I think is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think that's really smart because then it shows another map coming soon, and then they'll like just
Because then
rotate.
you're only splitting your community twice as
Twice.
opposed to like between 6 different
I've
maps.
also heard, I cannot confirm this. I've also heard people in chat were telling me that on the other maps, loot has been improved, and that was the big issue: is that you'd play battery because one, it's just a really well designed map, like how the extract points are laid out. It's circular, but also the loot is just easier to come by there. But I've heard that has been addressed. I don't. That's
Well,
rumor mill because I haven't experienced it myself because I've only played battery snow.
Yeah, it almost feels like the game is gaining steam because they've come out with quite a bit of quality of life patches just since we've started.
Just
playing.
since this season, yeah. No, it really
So-
is. Well done, Bohemian Interactive. I think what they have here is something really well, and it seems like they're supporting it really well.
Yeah, just
up
keep
to this
improving
point.
it,
So
right?
keep on. Just those iterative improvements is really good.
Yeah. It's a good time. Anyway, moving on. We have
Oh,
open beta time.
I want to ask you about this one.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Give it the
okay.
story, then I'll ask you.
So a new open beta released this week, and that would be Phantasy Star Online 2.
Fantasy.
Now available finally on the Xbox, which is great. Now, I never played the closed beta. I know people like Ronan and a few others have played, and I guess there was a lot of server issues and stuff like this. I haven't experienced any of that so far. It seems to run really smooth. I'm not too far into the game because, Warzone's out. So, but it's a lot of fun. So, and it reminds me of a Warframe, actually. It's got kind of that similar setup. There's a ship, which is your server, kind of like your hub area. You go in as a team to do different missions. Now your team can vary. You can have up to I think it was a 12-player party I was in for one of the missions I did, and it's a good time. It's really fun. It's a Phantasy Star Online 2 for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
It's an MMO. It's free to play, which is the big thing. It is in open beta right now, but you can completely download it for free and play and dress like a cool, awesome anime character and fight really big bosses.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely.
But it's a lot of fun. So I like it. It's very confusing, which
Okay,
is
cool.
to be expected of a Japanese online
Does
multiplayer
look
game.
cool, like they're
RPG.
Yeah. It does take some like the combat feels smooth and all that stuff. Your typical, attack, dodge, it's an action combat system, right? So that all that feels smooth. Just like any game, takes a minute to get used to the controls because they have some stuff like your hot bars kind of on the joysticks instead of elsewhere, right? But where it gets confusing is when it just releases you into the game, right? There's definitely a lot of systems, a lot of menus, a lot of it can be very confusing. Don't let that discourage you because it is a lot of fun. I mean, there's stuff I'm still confused about, but guess what? I'm having
literally a
fun.
never-ending quest awaits you.
That's just what they said on the
Yeah,
trailer we were
literally.
watching.
So I know a lot of people
So-
were really excited about this in the community. I know Sir Sivart was really excited about it.
He messaged me. I messaged him back. We're all on Ship 2, which is how they do their servers. Their servers are named Ship, so that's where I'm at. I think Sir Savart's there as well. It's fun. It's free to play. It's a good time. Like I said, it is very confusing, and it can be really daunting once you get out of the tutorial. But, I mean, most older MMOs, because this is an older MMO, it's been out in Japan for quite a while, most older MMOs can have that. Even Warcraft has that bit of confusion,
Yeah.
when you jump back into that,
Yeah.
right? Or Warcraft Classic. But, no, it's really fun. I think it's worth a try.
There you go. Heard it out of the horse's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what that means.
Out of the horse's mouth?
From the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. People say it, though.
I don't know. Yeah,
Older people say it a lot.
Yeah, well, they
think-
tend to use horse.
I think when you used to have horses, it probably made sense.
Yeah, because never look a gift horse in the mouth.
Oh yeah,
I know that one
yeah.
because that
See a
determines.
man about a horse.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so. My when I was like 5, I asked my dad, "Where are you going?" And my dad told me to see a man about a horse, and I thought he was actually going to see a man about a horse, and I was so excited. And when he came home, I was so disappointed.
That was your first real life lesson.
That was the first time I
That
realized
life sucks and then you die.
I realized that life hated me. Resident Evil 3, we're getting remake demo.
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses.
Yeah, that's a good
another
one.
one.
There's a lot of horse. What are they? Metaphors? Analogies?
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Hung like a horse.
Yeah,
Hey, I've heard that one.
That one, I've heard that one many
familiar
times.
with that one. So, Resident Evil 3. So, they're remaking. We've known this for a little bit. They're remaking Resident Evil 3, kind of like they did with Resident Evil 2. But it's not out yet. It comes out in April. April's a big month, guys. But we got the demo right now.
Oh,
It's about a 30-minute demo. You can
I
download
downloaded
it.
it.
Yeah, you can download it. You play as Jill Valentine,
Jilly.
which is sister of one of my favorite characters. Just throwing that out there. And Mark has it on screen for us. It looks good.
Now they're approaching this the same way they did Resident Evil 2,
Uh-huh.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. I played Resident Evil 3 as well.
I did too.
I believe that's
Way back
the
in the day,
last
yeah.
one I finished all the way through.
Whoa, did we ever finish Resident Evil's, was it 6?
No, that's the one with Chris Valentine's. Remember, he's jacked.
Yeah.
Jacked.
We never finished
No,
that,
I
did
don't think we did.
Well, another game probably came out.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Because remember, we were going to do that one, and then we were going to play 6, and then we were going to
I think Final Fantasy came out, 15. Was that around the same time?
probably, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Who makes is Resident Evil Square Enix?
Capcom.
Capcom, that's right. Dude, how about these new remakes though? Like this is so cool what they're doing.
Well, because, I mean, would you count this along the same vein as like a Final Fantasy VII remake? Because, I mean... Because it is kind
it's
of
a new game with
yeah.
the same story of a previous game.
It's so cool.
You can't say this is like a
However,
remastered or
this because Final Fantasy VII is not seen. Is it scene for scene?
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil.
At
is
least
scene
that
for
first
scene?
part was.
So but they do take some liberties. But yes, it's
Oh, okay. So
it's
it is. Okay.
incredibly inspired by the original game.
Okay.
With the same story, same characters.
Because
same
these are
everything.
scene for scene as well. So I think I thought I was under the impression that Final Fantasy VII was more of a new game, and this is. Well, here's why.
So it's not-
because the mechanics are the same here, right?
They have the same scenes, but they have additional scenes and additional time on those scenes, and
Interesting.
it's
What was really cool is in Final Fantasy VII, there's a part where she trips, and she trips in the main game like the original game. It's really cool. Like, I think they're doing a good job with these remakes.
I think it's
especially
fantastic.
Final Fantasy VII, which is coming out in a few weeks. Here.
This is way better than this is like the equivalent of what they're trying to do with movies, where Disney remakes everything, and it's just laziness in my mind. This is actually this is legit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had to get that jab in there because I hate that. That's why I enjoyed Onward so much, because yes, finally something new, not the same story rehashed in a worse way, with quote unquote live actors.
Yeah.
Where Hermione Granger should not be Belle. Are you freaking? Or she should not sing as Belle. There we go. She can be Belle, I guess. Belle's one of the hottest Disney characters of all time.
She's
Hermione
French.
Granger is not.
She's French. She's.
I would say Jasmine. She's Persian.
Jasmine is.
She is
smoking.
an exotic princess.
Persian, right? I think she's Persian.
Oh yeah, of course.
And she yeah.
She's shows off her assets.
Yeah, she
Very
does.
well, very
Yeah,
nicely. Yeah.
Hottest Disney character.
Jasmine.
Jasmine. I think I'd go
Yeah.
Ariel.
Ariel.
Yeah.
Those fiery redheads.
Fire red held with seashell.
With
bras.
feet or fin.
Yeah. Which version
Yeah, which
of
version?
Ariel
Feet
we
or-
talking?
feet or
not,
fin?
I'm not particular. I could go either way.
Oh man.
Ariel knows about the dinglehopper.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on. Next news story.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. Big stuff going on for Sea of Thieves. So first thing, they came out with a new update, which
We're on Sea of Thieves.
oh yeah, sorry. Sea
let
of
me stop
Thieves
this.
is
Okay.
our new
We went
game
on a
that we're
Disney
tangent. Hottest
Kenji
Disney
with
character.
why we were watching the trailer of it.
So Sea of Thieves.
Jane from Tarzan never comes up, and I think she's smoking hot too.
Well, once she gets all jungly, she is.
When she gets all
Jungly. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, what?
Jordan likes his ladies
Natural.
jungly.
Natural. You know.
Hey, baby.
Well, you know, at the end where she's kind of surfing.
You're like
the,
like your lady walks by you, and you're like, hey. And then she comes back all jungly, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's true.
She got jungly.
Well, you know, no,
Like
like
a little wild? Is
No,
that, I don't know what you mean by
no.
jungly.
Well, towards the end of the
She
movie,
got-
she lets her hair down. She puts on
relaxes.
the proper. Yeah, she puts on the proper junger attire, and she starts surfing
Surfing the trees with Tarzan.
yeah, surfing the trees with tire. Yeah, I mean, it's
Appreciate
much-
that. I can appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it's much better
But
look.
she gets her heads out of the books and her feet in the trees.
She got jungly.
That's jungly. Yeah. it's-
Oh, man. That's funny. That is funny. Sea of Thieves.
So Sea of Thieves has their new update out. It's a big week for them because it's their anniversary. It's an update, so you can just type it. You can actually just type in Sea of Thieves.
Don't
Should
worry.
come
Aren't
right
we
up.
getting Ori sea masts? I saw that. Ori and
Oh,
Will of
in
Bliss.
the paid shop and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's
Looks
going
good.
on is
Yes.
first with the update, they're adding the continuation of the Tall Tale that happened with the previous. So the previous Tall Tale, which was probably a few months ago, or as a little while ago, more than a few months. But anyway, it kind of left us with a cliffhanger, right? So this update continues that story, which is really cool. If you continue it and if you get all the collectibles and stuff for it, you get a lot of cool cosmetics, really cool cosmetics, actually. And then they're doing their anniversary event, which is this weekend. And I believe if you log in during this weekend, you'll get a special sniper rifle. I think it's called like X marks the spot, but it's basically like a rum bottle with an X on it, and it's on a sniper rifle. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
But that is the there it is right there.
Yeah, on screen.
That's
We
on
have
the
it
screen if you're
right
looking
now.
at it. That's the anniversary sniper rifle that you get if you log in during the anniversary event, which I believe is this weekend. In addition to, it's also free to play this weekend as well. It's
very
part
cool.
of Xbox. Big week for Sea of Thieves with a new update, their anniversary, and the free play days, which is great. But I'm excited to jump into it.
Yeah, it's cool.
This
Sea of
this
Thieves, man.
update / anniversary event might pull me away from the old Animal Crossing.
Oh, dude, look at that shark. Sea of Thieves, they've done such a good job, right? Like, it's just, I say this every time we talk about Sea of Thieves. Continued support in the face of criticism to make this one of the most unique games that's out there today.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool. Well done. That brings us to the last segment of our show.
I'm gonna get there, but I was on the video, so you got to give me a
Okay,
second.
you're good. You're golden. This is the portion of the show where we take your questions. You can submit a question each and every week over on Patreon, patreon.com/PositiveGaming. How it works is every single week, either on a Thursday or a Friday. I usually try to get it on Thursdays. Sometimes not until Friday morning. A post goes up on our page, and you leave a comment in the post. We've been getting a couple of questions in email to us, which is not a problem, but we usually don't check those, so we miss the email. I mean, we don't check those on Friday when we're preparing the show. We do check those, but so on Patreon, just wait for that post to go up every single week, and then you can just leave a comment in that post. So, but thank you very much, everybody, for submitting questions. Here we go. Our first question comes from the Bearded Paps, which is a great
good one.
name. The Bearded Paps writes in and says, "For me personally, I feel Skyrim was the quintessential immersive RPG experience. While The Witcher 3 was absolutely amazing, it still did not have near the replay value Skyrim had. What's your thought on this, bros? Is there any other RPGs that deliver like Skyrim? And also, how do you think Bethesda can improve upon Skyrim with their next title? You guys are awesome. Thank you very much, Bearded Paps." I know exactly what... There's a difference between Witcher and Skyrim, and I feel like that difference on which one you prefer largely comes down to taste. I do think Skyrim does have that replayability value because of the mods, and those mods were brought to where you get an entire new chapter.
Well, not necessarily just the mods. I mean, you don't have a specific character that is from book that you are playing. You're playing whatever you want to play. It is a role playing.
It is true. It is more original role playing in that respect than a Witcher, where you're playing
thief, a mage,
where you're playing Witcher, who's already has this decided lore about him, right? So,
which is a good thing and a bad thing in some instances. Like in Skyrim, I would say that is it's a huge strength, like the question was stated. In Witcher, having that character makes the storytelling a huge strength.
Yeah.
Because you are, and I would say there's no real game that did quests and stories like Witcher did. It is the best game when it comes to that storytelling aspect of it. So there's strength and weaknesses to both, right? But
so any other RPGs that deliver like Skyrim? I would say Fallout probably is more Skyrim-esque.
I mean, because it's kind of the same
Because
game,
it's
just
the
in a
same game
post-apocalyptic
with
era.
guns.
Yeah, with guns.
I mean, Skyrim is superior in my opinion to the latest Fallouts, anyways. But
Sure,
I prefer the fantasy genre. And can you turn
Sure.
off? Can you turn that off? The people keep coming on the street and distracting me.
Oh, I have
Sorry.
this video running on
Sorry.
another screen. I was wondering why you weren't looking at me.
Yeah,
guys.
but there's one point where the guy on screen was dancing, and it like
You're like,
I don't know what's happening.
Okay,
over
I
there.
will actually change the screen to you.
Oh, thanks.
You like
There you
looking
go.
at yourself.
There we go.
You know what? Here, let me even change the camera to you, too.
Oh,
There you go.
There we go. Oh, there we go.
See, never mind. Now he's being distracted again. But,
So any games that play Skyrim-esque for the Bearded Paps? More Skyrim-esque for an RPG?
yeah, sure.
ESO.
There is ESO, but
There's that.
no. If you're really into Skyrim and you're looking,
That's funny.
if you're really into Skyrim and you're looking for a Skyrim experience, I would not do ESO.
Fallout.
No, I would say
I think Fallout.
I would
yeah.
say go to your like rooted RPG games like a Divinity Original Sin. It's not a
Yeah.
first-person shooter. However, it is a game where you can play characters how you want to play them, right?
Yeah.
And role play them.
is and that one is turn-based, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, true. Okay, true. But
yeah,
I'm just saying,
absolutely.
like
it's the same mechanics.
the freedom of your choices.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think Skyrim kind of has the corner.
I mean, okay, Morrowind.
Yeah, you
Go
could
play
back.
Oblivion.
No, I don't. I would like to see that. redone.
Oblivion was.
Don't you think
I
that would
liked
be cool
Oblivion.
to redo that?
Yeah.
I remember sitting my character in like the waterfall of vitality, and leaving my Xbox on while I was at work because this is when I worked at Game Crazy, right in my senior year of high school, and leaving so that I could soup up my power in Morrowind. And the crabs, remember the crabs would come after you in Morrowind, and oh, dude. Bring
Yeah.
back Morrowind. That'd be good. No, I think like a Fallout is a good option.
We have chat saying Baldur's Gate, which is a great one
Baldur's
as well.
Gate.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I've never played Baldur's Gate, so I don't know.
No, yeah, it's your traditional RPGs. If you want that, the nice thing about Skyrim, if you like the first person look, I mean, that's I'm trying to think of.
You'll
other,
get that in Fallout. I mean, that's
Yeah, well, I mean, because they they're the same developer, right?
Yeah.
So
Cowlick says a game that gets overlooked with that type of freedom is Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Jordan, did you play Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yeah, that was the old Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 360 game that came out. It was a fun game.
It is backwards compatible.
Yeah.
I never played it, but
It's
there
a
you
good
go.
one.
That's a good step of advice there. Great question though, Bearded Paps. Skyrim is so good.
it's a great game.
Like,
Yeah, it's
how?
an excellent
I mean, is there another game that we've purchased? I've owned Skyrim on almost every device
I
I have.
have seveal games of those,
Yeah.
but it's only the good ones.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley I've purchased everywhere. Grand Theft Auto 5 I've purchased everywhere.
Wargroove, you purchased a couple
Wargroove
of
I've purchased everywhere. Yeah. I mean, and the problem is they release in different times of my life, and that's why I keep buying them in different places.
There you go. Did Captain James has a good one as well. That's not quite Skyrim, but if you want
yeah.
something that's a little bit different, but has
It is
Freedom.
fun.
it has freedom. Kingdom Come Deliverance,
And
is a good one.
The nice thing about Kingdom Come Deliverance is when we were playing that game and we were playing the same scenarios, we did objectives of quests entirely differently. That game gives you a lot of freedom to even not just build your character, do your character how you want it, but how you attack objectives and do certain things.
Yeah.
We all had different experiences as we played that game. Kingdom
Yeah.
Come Deliverance is an excellent.
It is.
excellent
It
one.
is. It's a very underrated game, I think, too. Anyways, great question, Bearded Paps. Thank you very much for writing in. Billy Pryor writes in and says,
And
"What?"
Ray.
And Ray.
And Ray.
Billy Pryor writes in and says, "What's up, fellow overachievers?" He says, "I have an Xbox One X and an Xbox One, but no PS4." He says, "Since the Xbox will run Series X games, should I get a PS5 or take the dive and go all Xbox all the way? Are the PS exclusives worth getting one?"
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I would say, why not do both?
I mean, if
And I would say-
financially, if you can, then yes.
Well, I would say you have an Xbox One and a One X. And I would say with the amount of money a PS4 costs, I would say trade in those, sell those, get a PS4 and a PlayStation 5. You could probably pay for your PS4, basically a straight across trade. For
Did he say he
Xbox
had a
One X.
PS4 as well?
No, he has no PS4. He has an
PS4.
Xbox One X and a
Oh.
Xbox One.
Okay.
Trade both those, upgrade to the Series
When you
X.
said trade both those, you're saying
sell those, sell both
those boxes.
both those boxes, buy a PS4, and then you were going to get either a PS4 or an Xbox Series X anyways. So one will be paid for, and then just buy the Series X. That
So
would be
you're
my
saying
advice.
for like 6 months he's not going to have an Xbox?
Well, no, this is when the Series X drops.
when the time comes.
Yeah, when the time
Oh,
comes.
okay. So when the
PS4 will be heavily discounted too at that time. So
Okay.
maybe you only have to give up one box.
Okay, I think I'm following you now.
I'm basically saying have your cake and eat it too.
So get rid of those 2 boxes, get the Series X, get the PS5, and the PlayStation.
Not the PS5, just the PS4. He just wants the PS4.
Oh, is that what he said?
You have to play the exclusives. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part of it.
Yeah.
Are they going to have exclusives that come out on that console that aren't available on the PS4?
No, he's asking if he should
Oh,
get
no, Mark. No, I think it's gonna be the same as Xbox.
He's asking if he should get the PS5 or stick with Xbox
sorry,
and the Series X.
my bad.
Yeah.
Jordan.
No,
corrected
this is
me.
why I was really confused.
Yeah,
about
sorry,
what
you guys
were
were right.
saying.
Should I get a PS5 or take the dive and go on all Xbox all the way?
But your thing still applies.
My
He
thing
can-
still applies. Trade it in. You were gonna buy a console, pay the
Anyway.
price of a console, trade in, sell both your boxes.
Now, keep in mind these are probably $500 consoles.
You with the Xbox One X, what do you think you can get for that? $200?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
The original one, not so
The
much.
original one, no, 100,
No, that's-
150.
You can donate
Used.
plasma.
Donate plasma.
Yeah, you could you go work at Walmart for a week or two. Get that employee discount
Not very good. And then buy it there.
and then buy it there.
Yeah, that's a
Then
good
quit.
question. If it were me, where I'm at, I don't know. Well, you guys have the PS4. You've played the PS4
Yeah.
exclusives. I downloaded my first PS4 game, MLB The Show. I'm very excited to jump into that this week.
You
But
had to create a profile.
I had to create a profile. It was that. But do you think he should just stick with the Xbox One X or go PS4 or go PS5?
The problem with PS4, well,
PS5.
it's not a problem, or
PS5.
PS5, or let's just PlayStation. They have hidden gems, man. Yeah. They have hidden gems, like for example,
Persona 5. Nino Kuni.
Nino Kuni.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, first I was
More
thinking
like
of
Nino Cucci.
Whoa.
Well, I thought you were talking about
Whoa.
like the new Neo 2 game, right? But
No, Nino
Yeah,
It's
so
a JRPG.
no, but they have hidden gems like the Uncharted series. I think the
Is it
new God.
hidden, though?
Well, I mean,
They're
they
not
got
hidden,
good
but they're
exclusive.
good.
You know what I
They have
mean?
good exclusives.
The first
$15 right now.
The
by the
first,
way, remastered.
yeah, the first Last of Us was excellent. The new God of War is really good. Horizon, like they have some good ones that you want to play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, biggest one that I want to play is they got Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to PlayStation first, right? So I don't want to wait a year, right? So
I would say,
it's tough, man.
where are your friends? Get that for sure.
Yeah.
And if you can fit it in, get the other one. The thing about, like, with me, with PlayStation, I have one. I blow dust off it every 4 months or so whenever they actually come out. The games that I want to play are pretty
Spaced out.
However, I do want to play those. Like, I think the last game I played on there was Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
What else has come out since then?
God of War.
No, God of War was before.
was before
Spider-Man,
Was
yeah.
before. I don't think I've played since Spider-Man. I can't remember. Anyways, I have that because I want to play some of those games, but that is not my go-to, console
Yeah.
because all my friends are on Xbox, and I really like Xbox Party.
Yeah.
Versus
No, that's
the
a conundrum. It being me, I would go Xbox Series X and then pick up a PS4 instead of the PS5 and play. Just be a generation behind. And I think PlayStation is planning on basically having that cross-generational gameplay as well. So it's not like if a game comes out on PS5 and exclusive, you'll be able to play it on the PS4, just not up to the snuff. But if you're already in the Xbox ecosystem, I'd say go Series X and then get rid of your old Xboxes and get a PS4, which
Yeah.
you'll be able to experience those exclusives at a very discounted price. So
Probably, yeah, if you can.
I think we came up with a solution there.
I think so.
After some confusion.
Nah, and I agree with chat. 80% of your decision should be where your friends are. I actually think that's true.
Yeah. What about online social distancing? Then go with the PS4.
I think I already do that.
The PlayStation.
I'm pretty sure I have no friends because of that.
The PlayStation ecosystem was built for coronavirus. It encourages social distancing.
It does. It does. That's funny. Well, they're ahead of the game there.
Great question. Quick Trigger, appreciate it. Quick Trigger's actually in chat. Thank you very much for being here. Garbage Grove writes in and says, "Hey bros, so I gave up video games for Great Lent." Oh, good job, man. Good job. Not the best timing with all the new releases, but I guess that's the point. And
Yeah.
I've managed to stay pretty busy still, so it hasn't been too rough. However, with this coronavirus looming over the world right now, the threat of total lockdown seems imminent. I'm going to try to hold this as long as I can, but I'm just having trouble thinking of fun things to do inside for long periods of time that don't include video games, which are how I would normally spend my
That's
inside
rough.
free time.
That's rough.
Dude, you are being tried, my friend.
Yeah, this is
You're sacrificed.
Molded, yes. I have a wife and 2 kids, so family activities would be great. So far, we've just kind of been making up stuff to do as we go. But at this rate, it feels that we'll run out fast. Any suggestions? He says, by the way, I hope you guys are all right and everything is good where you are. Praying everything goes well for you and all are suffering around the world. Thank you. Hey, thank you very much, Garbage Road. We are doing well. We appreciate the thoughts. But, okay, first of all, I would say don't give up on Lent. Like, I really respect. I think Lent is really cool, and I respect, practicing self-discipline there. So I wouldn't give up on video games. I would go to what video games used to be, board games.
Yeah.
There's board games that you can play by yourself, or you know what I mean?
I
like
actually
Solitaire.
Yeah. No, I actually
Dungeons and Dragons.
I have a couple of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're tabletop games that you can play by yourself. I mean, you can play with players as well if your family wants to join in. But yeah, there's Dungeons and Dragons board games that have scenarios for one player, and you do control a couple characters in the party, and the scenario kind of goes for you. But yeah, tabletop games.
I
man.
think tabletop games would be the way to go. You can play them with your family. I don't know how old
They
your
take up
kids are, so
periods of time, right? Yeah.
So that's going to be taken into consideration there. But something that you could do also by yourself that I kind of started to get into that I found very therapeutic. You're like in the zone, mindfulness, right, as you're doing it, is when we were playing the Star Wars tabletop game, I painted my own, your own little model miniature for Star Wars. It was a blast.
You can do that for the D&D miniatures.
You can get
too,
into
yeah.
some miniatures there. That's always fun. I also really like physical card games, and I think collecting the physical card games, that aspect of them is really cool. Opening the packs and stuff. You can order some from Amazon and then play some card games. But I would get into any types of those games. Spicy, any advice for? What would you do? I'm thinking putting myself in his shoes. I don't, because it's not like you could just watch sports. That's what I would do, right?
Or do anything else.
Well, I'm like, okay, what do I do here? MLB The Show. I mean, can go through a season of baseball on my own.
mean, you guys covered gaming pretty well. I would add a couple things. If you've never learned a musical instrument like a guitar, you can. It's quite fun to learn a musical instrument. Guitar especially. I think that's one of the quickest instruments you can pick up and just go with, just because how they work. You can get them for relatively cheap. You can get a crappy. I think I got a crappy guitar once that I still play today. Was $50. You find them on eBay. Just use some Lysol on it when you get it. You know.
Yeah.
Last thing that I actually really enjoyed that I learned in my life. I haven't done it in a while, and this may sound weird, but I learned to crochet.
And no, crochet's cool, man.
Crocheting
That's
is
another one of those mindful,
extremely therapeutic.
Yeah, mindful, in the zone. You're focusing on one task. That's that is therapeutic.
You throw on an audiobook, crochet, listen to music. Man, it's like meditation.
Crocheting is cool.
Yeah.
I did knitting, not crocheting. But,
I want to
same
learn
thing.
knitting.
Yeah.
I want to learn knitting.
I feel like crocheting you can do faster. Just because I've seen, granted, I'm sure if I watched like pro knitters,
my sister knits, and I think it's fascinating.
But the crochet,
it's completely different than crocheting.
Yeah, well, crochet because you take the one thing and you like loop it back through.
It's a whole bunch of loops.
It's the same principle, but you're looping it with chopsticks, basically.
No, yeah, I really like crocheting.
That's good. Yeah,
quite fun to do.
I knitted myself some sports headbands.
Hey,
nice. The letter D in the middle.
Nice. And if you think that's too complicated, which there is a learning curve to that, you can get the looms. And then you just wrap things around over and over and make some hats.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is good. Jordan, any other suggestions that we might have left out there? I think, first of all,
I think we...
Garbage Grove.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you did that for Lent.
Yes, it's live.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. So, Garbage Grove, thank you very much. Very cool question. Appreciate it. Samsonite writes in and says, since we now have actual hardware, details of both new-gen systems to compare PS5 to Xbox, would you please speak on the difference of the two systems and how, if they're different? I think we covered that with the basically
beginning of the
show.
show.
Xbox is better. I'll summarize it for you.
Basically, our conclusion.
We spent like 30 minutes
okay.
at the beginning of the show, and that's what it comes down to.
Can I say, it is really hard for me not to gloat a little bit because of all of the arrogance hearing for like 10 years, right, from PlayStation fans, like, oh, well, your system is terrible, blah, blah, blah.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's quite nice to, it's like, it's foreign to us.
We don't know what to do.
At this point. Anyways, I'd be interested in Spicy's opinion on how super fast SSD systems will go up against the raw horsepower. There we go. That's a good question. Spicy, how will super fast SSD system go up against the raw horsepower of GPUs on the Xbox? Samsonite wants to know.
That's a hard question and a good question. I don't think you're going to see the SSDs, like I said before, the super fast SSDs come into play until several years after developers are creating assets that require that kind of speed. Right now, it's just it's going to be loading implementation, I think.
Yeah, loading.
A couple years later, you're going to get assets that maybe more things are happening on the screen. You gotta give it to Xbox, I think, because they're not on old technology either. They're still running 2,500 to 5,000 megs, right? They're still running those kinds of speeds. So I think the GPU is more important. I think it's more important. Yeah, being able to load a screen faster and maybe have things load around you.
Like rendering and stuff, yeah.
Well, see, the rendering goes through
the GPU.
CPU and GPU as well, depending on how the game is written, right? So you got to give it to the Xbox because, I mean, speeds don't matter when it comes to that, like the particle effects and all, the actual effects going on. I don't think, right? Maybe we're going to get to a place where assets require that, but GPUs are they're the calculator, and the speed is just pulling what the calculator is producing in certain assets besides the raw assets. So, I mean, developers, basically what a developer does is they try to figure out, it's just one big hack to make your game work on any hardware. That's what they're doing. It's a lot of copy and pasting, and they're trying to figure out that hack. With limitations, they're going to figure ways around it. And I'm not saying Xbox has a limitation in speed, because they have the speed when it comes to those speeds, like I said. But if it does come to it, developers are going to figure out ways around it. And I think you can't hide GPU. It's easier to hide speed than to hide GPU power, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
So I know that was a weird, long, convoluted way to say that, but
I like it. Samsonite.
GPU is
Samsonite,
more important.
Great question. Last question comes from Six Remix. He says, since many folks are having to shelter at home, what are some ways you bros stay connected with family, friends, etc.? Hoping you're all staying safe in this crazy time. Honestly, through gaming. Like, that's how, we play games a lot together with each other.
Yeah. I'll always say it. Balance your life. Play with family, play with friends, play with yourself.
That's how you stay connected with friends and family, etc.
How you properly balance your life. Wow. Spicy is on fire today.
That was good. That was good.
You are on fire. Ooh.
Now that should be a shirt.
It should be.
Balance
That is a
your
good
life.
Yeah.
X1 Bros.
Balance X1Bros. Balance your life. Play
Men
with
on
your
the back.
family. Play with your friends, and
Play with yourself.
With a controller. Just have a controller.
just have a controller. I think. Okay, I gotta write that down.
Stay tuned.